Alright everyone, hello, welcome to Cards for Humanity's Magic the Gathering section, which we are very, very excited about. Of course, we are raising money for the COVID-19 Relief Fund by the World Health Organization. You can !donate in the chat to get details for more of that. My name is Merchant, and I'm joined, of course, by Alias. We are going to be casting the top 8. And Alias, how's it going?
It's going super good, Merchant. Super excited to be here, and looking forward to some magic, as well as raising a bunch of money for the COVID-19 operation, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Definitely a good cause, so make sure that you do what you can, and hopefully we can put all of our card game extreme nerdiness to some good ones. Instead of being the typical degenerates that we all are. But yes, excellent cause. So we are going to be doing our first game, which is going to be seeing Kane go up against Rixonite. A couple of good dramatic names.
Yeah, very much so. They sound like they stepped off a plane themselves. Both, of course, playing some pretty common decks, I'd say, right about now. Bant Ramp and good old Simic Flash. So yeah, let's take a look at these deck lists quickly, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start out with Rixonite's Flash list, which is... this list, of course, this is a list that needs no introduction, really. It is, I would say, one of the leading villains in the caster decks that we see in today's Magic. What do you make of it? Like that? So, of course, this deck gets a lot of hate, from myself included, but yeah. How do you think that hate actually matches up to how it is as a deck? How good do you think it is, basically?
Well, a lot of people that I've spoken to say that this deck is very, very good against Bant Ramp, so it makes perfect sense to see Rixonite bringing this to the party up against Bant Ramp here. So, you know, I think going in, he's probably favored just by the sheer number of nopes that he's playing. Interesting to see no mystical disputes, though, so, you know, those are possibly in the sideboard. Yep, we see there.
Yeah, they are. There's 3 mystical disputes in the sideboard, which I think we'll definitely see come in, win or lose game 1, because of course they are an ideal card against Bant Ramp. But you're right, basically, if you give Simic Flash an inch, they'll take a mile. And of course, Bant Ramp, as you might guess from the name, likes to ramp up a little bit. And when you spend those turns essentially telegraphing that a big threat is coming, Simic Flash is just going to hold their counters for you. So very, very frustrating matchup indeed, especially in this game 1. But if we look at Kane's Bant Ramp list, of course, this is a deck that I think it's fair to say is so powerful that you can't count it out, even in a matchup that should be a nightmare for it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you just look at the cards, they're just like top quality throughout every single CMC. You know, it's just, I'm going to ramp, I'm going to do big stupid things. You know, we got Growth Spiral, then Uro, you know, into Elspeth Conquers Death. So we can like just power our way through to these massive threats, drop a Dream Trawler, and then, you know, pretty much wind up the game from there. But the big player in this matchup is going to be Teferi, because if Teferi lands, Rix is in big trouble.
Oh, yes. Teferi is hugely problematic, of course, for the Simic Flash player. Typically, you'd be hoping to have an answer available for him, especially post-board with those mystical disputes, etc. But a card that I actually really like here, outside of the Teferi pick, of course, the card that I really like is Elspeth Conquers Death, because it essentially gives a second life to all of your threats that may have been countered earlier in the game, as well as the exile aspect of it isn't so important. You can hit ambushers, which is a great target, or, you know, Nissa, but Brightboard Cutthroats do go under it, so that's not so great. But just the fact that it can grab something that has been previously countered out of the graveyard, it increases hugely the amount of answers that Simic Flash needs to have on hand.
Yeah, so this is going to be definitely a battle of the nopes. Whichever player falters first or gets impatient may be punished. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this green and blue monstrosity go up against another pretty annoying version thereof. So,
welcome to Arena for Humanity, where we hate all the decks, but we love Magic.
All right, here we go. Kane versus Rixonite. It's almost biblical, this battle, if you think about it. So
it is a beautiful name pair. We just need Abel on the other side, and then we'd be truly of biblical proportions. But
ooh. You kept that? Oh, man.
I mean, there's decks to keep 6 lands in hand against. Simic Flash apparently is one of them.
I don't love this, but hey, let's see where this goes. Maybe he's just hoping that Uro is going to do something good here for him. But take a look at this other hand. 2 Quenches and 2 Nopes on a stick in the form of Frilled Mystic. This is...
Holy moly. Quench is such a good card for this matchup. Rixonite does find themselves going second, so it's not going to hit the growth spiral. That's a very key opening there. Shadow of the Sky could have great implication later on, but with that amount of nope, yeah, it's looking a bit nopey, isn't it, really?
Yeah. The one thing that's missing from...
nopey situation.
The one thing that's missing from Kane's hand is their own nope. As we can see, the first nope being deployed here by Rixonite, and we'll now resort to calling them by their real names. Quench. Yes, that gets rid of Uro. He goes into the bin, so we'll get him back later, but importantly, stopping the ramp, because we do know, the land battle is pretty important here, just in terms of being able to resolve spells and have multiple counter spells back up.
Yeah, I mean, Kane is kind of feeling the downside of keeping that 6th lander, though, drawing into even more land, and really just not having anywhere to go. Remember, you need to get cards in the bin to get Uro back out.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like something that's going to be happening, to be blunt.
So Rixonite certainly having the better hand at the moment, and getting Spectral Sailor now, which has proven to be like a really, really good card, yeah. Dream Troll is great, but it's not resolving, let's be honest.
Yeah, it most likely isn't. Dream Trawler is a card that I wouldn't be surprised to see vanish from the deck of Kane after sideboarding, as 6 mana against Simic Flash is what you could call, as you see here, a little bit aspirational.
Yeah, Quench dispatching of that pretty big threat, finding a Temple Garden off the top of the library. Temple of Mystery off the top. Gonna scry, to the bottom it goes, and yeah, we're just sitting here, gonna chip away at damage. It's gotten to the point where I've seen with some of these decks that they just fire or Shadow the Sky on Spectral Sailor, because they have no other answers for it.
Well, I mean, we're at the point of the game where realistically you're going to start seeing offensive Frilled Mystics at the end of turns just to speed the game up. Spectral Sailor has that amazing ability to draw out cards. There's a Nissa. However, playing that Nissa, does it leave open the mana for a Sinister Sabotage? It does, of course. So, yeah, that is a bit of a rough time, actually.
Yeah, so protected. Nissa's not going anywhere right now. We got a Growth Spire off the top of the library. We could go for the Shatter now, but like you said, Sinister Sabotage is just ready and rearing to counter some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Growth Spiral first, try to, bait out an answer, but the Sinister Sabotage even is there waiting. They do have, of course, double blue and the green from Nissa, so Elspeth Conquers Death coming out. That can hit Nissa. There's Sabotage protecting Nissa. And all that's left now, is the concede button. I agree. I think he's completely out of that game. I think that 6-lander keep at the beginning, to be blunt, was a pretty disastrous decision, actually. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the quickest game I have ever seen between those two decks, just saying. I'm grateful for it, like, personally, but I would like to see a good fight here between these two. So let's hope for a better opening hand. So, sideboard times... Absolutely. Obviously looking to bring in some more Ether Gusts, get rid of some of these green threats like Nissa, like Uro, whoever else is running around in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tolsimir come out here, although Tolsimir is a funny one, because realistically, you just have to look at 5 and 6 cost creatures and go, am I going to get to cast this when my opponent doesn't have mana open? And the reality is most likely no. So yeah, there goes Tolsimir. As predicted, I expect to see more things like Veto and those Ether Gusts go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a nightmare matchup, though, for the Bant Ramp player. They really need to find a way of finding an opening, which will be Teferi. I think the thing to do here, at least in my opinion, would be pretty hard mulligan for Teferi.
Yeah. I agree. If you can get that down, especially now because, Bant's going to be on the play, let's try and get Teferi down. If we think that there's any counter magic or any mystical disputes, let's get him down with 5 mana available. Hold up counter magic and get him to resolve, because once you do, then you're pretty set. Like, you shut off their entire game plan, they're forced to play on their turn.
Look at this sideboarding coming in, though. It's disgusting against Bant Ramp. Seeing as we see a Bant being forced to shift to a more non-creature focus, Rixonite just anticipates that and takes out so many of the creature targeting spells like Brazen Borrower from the deck, and just goes, yeah, all right, let's counter some more stuff. That's the things that we don't counter. Yeah, it's rough.
I see your counters, and I raise you several.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a fun one, if blue is your kind of fun. Filthy control players.
Yeah, I like blue flying decks. I like Kraken decks. I'm a blue player.
Now this is a much better opening hand. Look at this. Beautiful.
Yeah,
this one too, that's not great.
They had to mulligan. The one Forest was pretty rough, but we see... Oh, this is interesting, actually, because it's quite an aggressive hand for Rixonite here. With that Spectral Sailor and Brineborn Cutthroat, that's a lot of early pressure. what he doesn't have so much of is the answers. So, we'll see.
Very light on counter magic there, like we saw in the first game. But yeah, I mean, it's still anyone's game. Shifting Ceratops could be quite a big threat to deal with. Obviously protected from blue and uncounterable. So this is going to be fun to see how that works its way in. Temples aplenty to get things going. Tammy off the top of the library, and we'll slowly work our way into this match.
Now, Tamio in this deck is an interesting card. If you can get it on the board, it can be a great source of fishing out answers like Teferi, which I imagine is what Kane is hoping for here. I would be pretty shocked to see anything... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say anything but Time Raveler targeted.
Oh, do you think he's going to go for it here?
I think he should, yes. He will be scared of Quench, but
yeah.
you basically have to take swings to win this matchup, although he goes to his end step, so apparently not.
Okay, all right, so he's afeared. We could Mystical Dispute this, but I think they're going for the, all right, I'm going to find a land, get to fair. Oh, never mind. I take that back.
That has to be answered. It's in the end step, so there's no Teferi available for them. They have to answer that at this point.
Yeah, they can counter that. The other option was to wait for 4 lands, play Teferi, keep up the Mystical Dispute to protect.
Oh, sure, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because now we have Nope. So this this lovely little opportunity may have closed here on Kane.
Enlightenment coming down. Bit of a scry. That's the plains. Now, Krasis is a good card in this matchup. Doesn't have to resolve to draw cards and get the healing effect. So that is a restock sitting in Kane's hand, even if it does get countered. And there's not a huge amount of counters actually sitting in Rixonite's hand. Even if he loses this Teferi, I mean, Shifting Ceratops is another problem for him. But even if he gets this Teferi countered, he does have threats available. And the graveyard is getting cards in it for Uro as well.
Yeah. So the one thing that can answer the Shifting Ceratops is Ether Gust when it's on the stack, but we have Brineborn Cutthroat to deal with on the battlefield. Will we see Shifting Ceratops? Another Sinister Sabotage in hand now. So I think Rixonite's just going to sit back and wait for the threats to come because they're going to be building up now in Kane's hand as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, you got to remember every threat answered, that Cutthroat gets even cutty-throatier. It's a card that can get out of control real quick.
Oh yeah. I kind of like running out an Uro here just to test the waters, see what's in hand there.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, because we can get that back.
It is an ETB effect, so...
Yeah. Oh, it resolves. Yay! Always like it when things resolve in Magic.
Well, I think it's basically the classic, Simic Flash thing of, draw your cards, I'll just counter the ones that you actually want to cast.
Yeah. Which ones matter? Spectral Sailor end step here, perhaps. Why not? Make our little Brineborn Cutthroat bigger.
The rope climbing pirate even bigger.
Even more Nope now. Quench gets worse as the game goes on, but still pretty annoying right now.
Can be disastrous against a Krasis as well.
Yeah. So we have spare Tamios. Maybe that's the way we go. Otherwise, we go digging with Hydroid Krasis. If it does get countered, it's okay. I think we have to wait to try and resolve Teferi.
Yeah, exactly. I think they want another land even to potentially go Tamio into Teferi and keep the Ether Gust, but yeah, it's such a difficult play pattern to establish for Kane here because when you don't know what's in hand, it's so rough. I mean, it would be pretty rough even if he knew what was in hand at this point. But...
yeah, it's just like, oh good, I'm gonna have to work my way through.
We are seeing the Krasis go in. Now, what does he declare X for? Does he say you have to actually counter this to stop a threat? Or do they just say max value, let's go?
Yeah, looks like he's going for the safer option and leaving up an Ether Gust. Just in case there's a Nope. So this forces a Sinister Sabotage from Rixonite because we can pay for Quench if we want to. I don't think he's too fussed about it. It looks like he's just going for maybe an extra card off the top of the library.
I think so.
Does he even care? It doesn't look like he cares.
He lets it hit the board. I'm vaguely surprised at that, I suppose, with the amount of counters available to him, but I mean, there are a lot of cards in Kane's hand. Rixonite does have to not get ahead of himself. I mean, if he's in a sort of forward momentum position, there's no reason to kind of...
He did also miss a land drop, so, like, drawing a card there with Spectral Sailor was actually really heads up. Getting Fabled Passage, finding another green. We can then try and resolve Nissa, which will get gusted, most likely. But, at least prioritizing, rather keeping up in the mana than getting too far behind.
Exactly. Now, I didn't think we see Nissa this turn. Because, of course, that's not going to leave Sinister Sabotage open. So, What do we see is the question. Nothing? Big old pile of nothing?
Could
A
go
Simic
nothing.
Flash special?
Could go for Shifty.
Ooh, tempted by Nissa. Interesting.
Always like watching the mouse movements. Like, I really wanna, but I shouldn't. So this is the patient game. Whoever breaks first is usually the one that gets punished. So
Exactly.
let's see who has a slight misstep. Another Ether Gust off the top.
That's very
Nice.
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have 2 Teferis now, so we could try and resolve 2. But we do have enough mana to counter both.
I mean, this is just the awkward stare-off you get into in these matches, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you got to remember, watching at home, these players don't know what's in both hands, so they are staring into the counter-filled abyss, which isn't a great place to be. Trust me, I've been there myself.
Yeah. Draw, go. Draw, go.
Awful.
The
Yeah, the
one
reception's
card-
rubbish.
The one card that might make a big difference here is the Spectral Sailor, because it's drawing basically double the cards for Rixonite than what Kane's getting, so...
Phyrexian Arena Sailor doing work. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh my
Very good.
goodness.
And being such an early threat on the battlefield too, like, you don't really find a gap or an opportunity to answer it, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's in an interesting position where Brineborn Cutthroat needs to go to 3 toughness to be able to go over the Krasis, but for that to happen, essentially, Kane needs to try to commit a threat to the board. Now, he did just find a 7th land, which does open up things like Tamiyo into Teferi, etc., although more likely Ether Gusts being held open. I wonder... I mean, the thing is, against Simic Flash, you have to move at some point.
Yeah.
And the more time that Spectral Sailor is just free-rolling extra card advantage, and now, yeah, Vantra's just scrying, because really, what else does Rixonite want in hand? More lands so that he can cast Ceratops and keep open a Quench or so?
Yeah.
It's a tough call, because as Rixonite goes up in land count, he's going to become insurmountable with that amount of answers.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what's that? 4 counter spells? 5, sorry. Frilled Mystic counts.
Yep, Frilled Mystic definitely counts.
So, tempted by the Nissa, looks like we're going to go towards a Shifting Ceratops first and foremost, though.
So
Can't
that
interact
can
with us
be
when
targeted.
it hits. Yeah, needs to be dealt with now if he wants to.
That is correct. However, it
Results?
does touch the board. Interesting. So that is a big old threat. Sorry, I was going to say threatful. That is not a word, but
It's a
big old
Threatatops.
it is. Good save.
But now this opens the door here for Kane. So he's got 2 Teferis. He can resolve either of these Teferis now because only Quench is available, and it's not even gonna resolve. He can just pay 2 if he wants to, or just resolve a second Teferi.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see Teferi hit the board this turn, right?
Yeah,
the thing
it does.
is to point out, though, honestly, like, that's not Hero of Dominaria. It doesn't
No.
win a game on its own.
Certainly
there needs
not.
to be other things.
And also, Shifting Ceratops can just run straight through the Hydro Krasis and
Yes,
smack
exactly.
Teferi. So maybe we don't see Teferi this turn and we go for Tamiyo and start digging for answers. Shatter the Sky, perhaps. Do we have enough for Shatter and Tamiyo?
Yes.
Okay.
There's 8 lands on the board. Tamiyo's
Yeah.
4, Shadow's 4.
Okay, so Tefra's resolves. Are you going to bounce a thing? Are we going to bounce Brineborn Cutthroat, perhaps? What do we want to do? Because I like the idea of digging. I think we need to find Shadow the Sky.
With Simic Flash in and Teferi on the other side of the board is you can really feel the existential dread through the screen. It's quite powerful.
Yeah.
However, Teferi does make it to the board.
I'm just curious what we're going to do here because the plus doesn't really do anything. Like, I would honestly start digging for answers. Tamiyo plussing, maybe finding Mystical Disputes with the mana available. Let's see what they look for.
Part of me wonders, maybe it could have just been Shadow the Sky. Yeah. Part of me wonders, like, maybe it should have just been Tamiyo, but then of course you have counters available. So
yeah,
pick your poison, really.
Yeah, so Teferi's not long for this world.
Hey,
off the top of the library. Hello.
And now Tamiyo has a very nice interaction with Uro there, loading up the graveyard.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm very much on the minus train here. Yes, let's bounce this Brian. No, you can't
back to
that.
hand.
Yeah, let's get this Brineborn back to hand, and let's try and find some counter spells to protect the Shadow of the Sky. I don't think it's ever going to resolve, but one can hope.
I mean, there's double Ether Gust in hand. There's, Teferi's about to get steamrolled, but
He's gonna get
I mean,
squished.
you just cast Teferi and then you cast Shatter, right? But Teferi has to hit the board as the hard bit.
Yeah. And with that much Nope in hand, I'm interested to see what the play is here. Looks like we're gonna go for
And it's
Nissa.
6 counter spells in hand.
Yes. Oh, no Nissa.
2 of which are on a stick, which is...
Interesting, because we could have started pressuring Tamio too, but looks like we're just gonna go towards the fairy and deal with that planeswalker. Okay.
Yeah, then comes the Nissa. I guess, yeah, I'm a little bit confused with that, I suppose. I mean, they could have been fearful of... I don't know.
I don't know, because they couldn't protect it either unless they're now bluffing a mystical dispute of their own, because if the fairy was still on the battlefield when Nissa's trying to resolve, then we couldn't have a counter war over her, so...
Well, yeah, there's also some mana issues for Rixonite now, actually.
Yeah. He hasn't got double blue anymore.
He does not.
He's only got Quench
hugely problematic, and this is the turn that Kane has to seize upon to really restore tempo back in his direction.
Make or break time.
Whichever's better, really.
So if he pays for this Teferi, which he will, we do have another land in hand, I believe, to cast Shatter the Sky, but no Shatter there. Counter spells turned off, so yeah, let's blow some stuff up, please. Threatening face or Nissa? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I love the decision. It's like, my thing is gonna die. Where do I want its last dying breath to go towards?
Yeah, it's going to dink into Nissa.
Interesting. Alright, so little spectral sailor gonna draw. Alright, so that is your dying breath, my dear.
That has got so much value throughout the course of this match for Rixonite. It has been an absolute one-mana powerhouse for him.
Spectral Sailor MVP. Alright, now do we get to blow stuff up? I hope so, because this Shifting Ceratops is going to wreck you.
Yeah, the Ceratops is looking a little bit spooky. They do draw a card, but at this point, not really going to make too much of a difference.
Gonna have to discard at this point.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So let's Shatter the Sky.
Yeah. Finds another Quench on the top of the library.
Now, what Rixonite really wants to do is pull another Shifting Ceratops. That would be absolutely devastating, to the point where I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Vantress prioritize being saved. I'm not sure if they could have, although they had the Sailor draw mana, but they didn't have double blue, actually, so I guess they couldn't have. But yeah, Rixonite really needs to find another Sailor. It's gone into an unusual state of all the counter spells in the world, but we're just seeing those War of the Spark Planeswalkers define the match, really, yeah. Looking for Dreamtrawler now, yeah. Why not? Can't be countered.
Yeah, sure. Ether Gust, so we can send Nissa back in the draw step. That would be cheeky.
Could do.
Well, could do it right now, actually. Maybe now is better. No, it doesn't matter. Teferi can do it anyway. They can't do anything about it, even if they untap.
The Teferi Creed.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about this.
Yeah. Alright, so no draw step Nissa being sent away. Holding up mana for something else. I probably would have preferred seeing Nissa dealt with in the draw, because then it just eliminates the double green.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, I suppose you kind of want to wait and see, although not really, because I agree. Basically, I think that we probably should have seen Nissa dealt with there. But are we going to see? Yes, we are going to see Frilled Mystics just play defensively. Nothing like that 3/2 Frilled Mystic. Let's go.
Offensive Lizard Wizards. Nice.
Exactly.
So yeah, I like it. You got to shift gears now, Rixonite. He's got to go for the beatdown plan and just try and avoid any more Shadow of the Skies.
Yeah, and the Orbital Uro cannon is online at this point, so...
Yes. Very Uro. Much wow. Here he comes.
Uru, what's this?
Tamio gonna go and bring back Mystical Dispute. We're going Shatter again.
Sky,
We're just gonna keep blowing things up. Yeah, seems good. Why not? Yeah, you're tapped out. So yeah, at this point, even with that hand, Look, this is what we said in the beginning of the matchup, right? Teferi absolutely trashes this list. He is the single reason that Bant beats.
Look, I'm going to be
Simic
incredibly professional here because we are casting a tournament. You know that, the guys at 983 are being such wonderful guys putting on for a good cause. So I'm going to be incredibly professional and say Teferi is an absolutely fucking ridiculous card. What a meme of a card.
Very professional, yes. Exclamation donate in chat for the F-bomb, please.
Exactly. Every time I swear about Teferi, I'll donate $10 to COVID-19.
There you go.
Buckle up, everyone.
Nissa, who shakes the world on the stack. We have an answer for it, and Ether Gust can send it straight back from whence it came, but it is allowed to exist.
It is.
Huh.
Ether Gust is a kind and merciful lord.
See, now, I think Kane needs to be a little bit better here with where the Ether Gusts are going, because there's 2 opportunities now where we've been...
I think, I kind of get the impression that potentially they may not grasp the targeting a spell side of the card.
Perhaps.
It certainly seems that way to me a little bit, but...
Yeah. So,
that's
Kane,
fine.
if you are watching this, you can Ether Gust them on the stack, and that's usually a better thing to do.
You can play decks that don't have that card. And
that is true.
Okay, cool. So, Brixenite GG's, yeah, and it just came down to what we were talking about in the sideboard process, really, where it's like, Teferi or bust. You saw that game. Kane was getting absolutely wrecked. Cast Teferi Time Raveler. It resolved because of what I would actually classify as a kind of greedy Nissi play. Yeah, greedy Nissi play. And then it just kind of went downhill from there because Teferi shuts out the entire game. It was... I think that Nissa actually lost Rixonite the game.
Yeah, I would say so.
Way too low mana.
I would say so. If he'd just been a little patient, because, like, as much as you want to establish your threats, you also need to make sure Teferi doesn't resolve. That's priority number 1 for the Simic list, is don't let Teferi resolve. If you already have a battlefield established, you've got your wolves going, you've got a 5/4 Brineborn Cutthroat, cool, whatever. You can just beat them up, but yeah. I agree with you. Left himself open, and Teferi just ran away with that game.
Absolutely. That's how it goes. And then, of course, you have that amazingly powerful Uro with the escape.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Even if you counter it, I don't care. I'll get it back later.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It is pretty good.
So you can see in this sideboarding process, Elspeth Conquer's Death is such an absolutely bonkers card, but here there's only 1 of them. So it's like, man, is Simic Flash just that good against it that one of the best cards just gets straight up taken out?
Well, my theory is that Kane hasn't seen any Night Pack ambushes from Rixonite. It just hasn't made an appearance.
Yeah. I mean, it's still hanging out there. We still see 4 of them. So.
And that is one of the absolutely key cards to remove with Elspeth Conquer's Death. So I think that maybe because of that might have influenced the sideboarding process.
Yeah.
Well, there is double Night Pack Ambusher. So.
8 puppy dogs, but only 1 temple? I don't love it. Oh, that kind of got worse.
Yes, it did.
I would have preferred the Scry. But we can get Spectral Sailor down, and then there's a 20-turn clock.
Oh, no, that was Rixonite's mulligan. So I thought they were going to 5 for a second there.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness me, but it's okay. Please don't panic. No, this is Rixonite. He's keeping 5.
Well, butter my biscuit.
Yikes. I would get rid of, I don't know, Opt? Spectral Sailor is better? We just, like in the first game, he was
You have to get rid of Opt, right?
Beast.
Oh, no, you don't. Never mind. Double Teferi and double Skrylands. So, yeah, Kane looking to be in a very, very strong position here.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the mull.
That's a mull. I would never mulligan a hand with Teferi in this matchup.
Yeah, especially with 2 Skrylands, I would have kept that, because finding land 3 should be pretty easy.
Yep,
I say
ECD
that,
goes on the
famous
bottom
last
of the deck.
words.
Yeah, that's like the words that I live and die, or more accurately, die and die by. But yeah, I would never mulligan a
draw what you need.
Sometimes magic's easy until they print War of the Spark. But, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have mulliganed away a hand with 2 Skrylands and a Teferi, and I think it's a direct downgrade what he's gotten, unless they're really valuing Shadow.
Yeah, Rixonite, though, on the other hand, is looking not too shabby here. got 2 mystical disputes, Ether Gust, and a Spectral Sailor. So even if we get stuck on 2 lands for a little bit, we have ways to interact.
And Kane is facing the Bant Ramp nightmare of potentially missing a land drop.
Yes, that's no bueno. But we've got land number 2, Ether Gust.
Yeah, it's
He's
not even
available,
bloody Kinder
so-
Bueno. It's just absolute disaster if you can't get those Uros going on time.
Yeah. Alright, well, cross your fingers. Hold your thumbs. Hope
Oh,
like
for the
hell
Ether
you draw
Gust?
land.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to Ether Gust on 3, I don't think.
Yeah, it makes you feel better though.
I would dispute this.
I would dispute it. Yeah, I
would-
agree.
I would 100%.
I would 100% mystical dispute this because it has been a powerhouse.
Yeah, Kane,
previous games for Rick
snipe
tonight.
this out of the sky. Right now.
Mystical
Get
50 cal, let's go. Come on, you can do it. Don't be bullied by a spirit pirate. I believe in you.
It's a 50 cal dispute, yeah. Yes! Yes! Go, Kane, go! Yes, you
There
know.
we go.
You know how stupid that card can be. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Good job, Kane. Okay. Alright.
Perfect.
Now, do we draw a land? We draw Brineborn Cutthroat, so
Ooh.
that's okay. That doesn't get you card
Grey Spiral
advantage.
for Kane. That's what they'll be wanting to see, although... okay, well, that's an opening. There you go.
Yeah, fire it off now. Oh, there we go. There's a land. Okay, so Uro's a turn late, but it's okay. Let's get another blue out here, shall we? Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah, white for Shadow, of course.
Uro is not going to resolve, but,
No,
you know, theoretically.
we can pretend he does, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Uro hits the board. His card text doesn't do anything. He's a 6/6. Ah, gold! Oh, wait, no, he gets counted.
Oh, of course he's gonna get counted.
It's gusted.
And nope. Oh, gusted, eh?
Put to the
huh.
bottom, assuming he doesn't have
Yeah,
more.
For sure.
But he puts it... Oh, well, actually, I didn't see what he put it there. I think it's on the bottom,
Yeah,
right?
he put it on the bottom, yeah. So
Okay.
he's got 2 in hand, so I like that. Oh, Spectral Sailor's back. Ruh-roh.
Row indeed. Temple of Enlightenment comes out. Nice little scry coming off of that.
Yeah. I like scrying before Uro. Uro's probably not going to resolve, but, you know, we can try. Temple of Plenty. I think we'd like to hit our lands, so maybe we keep that? No?
Apparently not. That's choosing to stick on single green devotion. Which I think is fine in his deck. I don't think that makes any impact, right?
Mm-mm. Mystical Dispute once again. Brineborn Cutthroat gets another counter.
That snowball is such a scary thing.
Look at this. Three land, and just every single thing has been fine right now. This is all for Malta 5. Just a reminder, everyone.
Yeah, this is the power of Cutthroat and Mystical Dispute.
Mm.
And there is a Mystical Dispute in hand, so that's going to get Mystical Disputed.
No.
and-
We have our own Mystical Dispute, so this is
Oh, yeah,
totally
they
fine.
do. They do. That's true. That's totally fine. I am absolutely wrong.
They do get to draw a card, though, so... You know, it's still pretty much even... Oh! What? What? No!
I would like to dispute that draw. Okay, scry to the
Goodness.
bottom.
Yeah.
Hallowed Fountain comes out. There's an Uro. Another Mystical Dispute is available. But another Mystical Dispute is available. And
Mhm.
another Mystical Dispute is also available. So,
Hmm.
ooh,
He's
likes
gonna
to
let it
tease
go?
us with the Mystical Dispute.
Maybe? Oh, is he gonna Ether Gust it back, rather? That's just gonna get noped again, though.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, it resolves. I mean, we're at the point where we can almost escape him, so we'll fight over that one. Ooh.
Nightpack Ambusher, that's a
hey.
huge draw.
Okay.
However,
Yeah, we have the answer for
yeah,
it.
he's going to answer it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but he's got dispute, so this is resolving.
Yeah, this is a huge win for Rixonide if this Ether Gust targets. Yep.
Yep.
Oof.
Oof, indeed. Rixonite has just drawn
Is
the absolute.
Uro loaded up though is the question because of
Wait,
course we're
he-
not spectating these games live.
Wait, he didn't counter that.
That's okay. I guess maybe wait what he didn't count a Teferi either.
What are you using that for, friend?
I'm so confused as to what that was. just
oh,
recasting it.
no. Oh no, that was his opportunity.
You
He could've
can't do
had
that. Yeah, that's literally just conceding the game.
Oh, Rixonite, that is a rough turn of events there. He was looking
I
to be
mean-
completely in the lead and take over this game.
The Teferi was coming out afterwards, but he didn't know that.
Yeah, but
Which
even
would've-
then, you countered that to
Yeah.
Fairy, right? Like, you can't do anything now. Mystical Dispute's sitting there in your hand and just taunting you, going like, oh, you could have played
But the
me.
Mystical Dispute is used, so they don't have it for Teferi.
Yeah.
So Teferi would have come out and bounced Night Pack, but you don't know that.
True, yeah. But then we just replay it, right?
Yeah.
We still have
that's the thing, you just replay it. Yeah, that was a very confusing sequence of events there from Rixonite's side.
I mean, now he's just drawing dead. He had an absolutely stellar.
The game's over. I mean, he let Teferi hit the board again. The game's over.
Yeah. So very important, friends, to note: if you see Teferi, you counter him. If you cannot counter him, you cry in a corner, in the ball.
Any corner works. Yeah, any corner works. But Teferi will at some point come along and return you to another room. That is absolute. Oh, there's a Mystical Dispute as well, just to round things off.
Yeah, we're just gonna run away with the game here now. Kane is gonna pick up this victory. Band Ramp is the victor, but man, what would have happened if we had just countered that?
Well, you know, Rixonite could top deck an island. Yep, that's good.
Oh, look, it's a crisis. It's just getting better for Kane now. Kane's just like, yeah.
Yeah, Kane's just absolutely steamrolled it. Press the attack button.
Yeah, just attack all. It's totally fine.
Oh, no, in case there's a flash. Oh, no, can't I?
No, they can't do anything. Teferi's here.
Teferi, yeah.
So you know what you said earlier about Teferi? You may repeat that, because
I'm not going to, because there's children watching at home, Alien. That's a sick. Oh, wow, that was an experience. I feel like the rest of the tournament's cancelled. I'm going to go have a lie down after that game. Yeah, I think that we definitely saw some curious plays at times, but I just saw the power of Teferi. It was just a Teferi showcase. It's how incredibly good that card is.
Yeah, but again, all of these players, they're at various different expertise levels, so you know, kudos to them for playing, and best of luck in the rest of the tournament for Kane. So just a reminder, friends, we are raising money for the COVID-19 relief for the World Health Organization, so if you go !donate in chat, you can help us raise all the monies and make this event an absolute success. But before we carry on with some more magic, we're going to take a quick break.